if this is working. Okay, looks like it's working. What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm using a new program, so I'm trying to see how this works. Okay, gonna wait a second, see who shows up in here. What's up? What's up? Thanks for joining in. Thanks for joining in. How y'all feeling about Severance this season and where we're going in the finale? Setting all this up. Okay. Where do I want to start with this? Let's start here. Let's start with Devin. I want to talk about Devin real quick. Do y'all think that Devin is actually a good, I don't want to say a good person, but do you think she's on Mark's side? I want to know what y'all think about that. I am very, very, very iffy about that. Tom says, can't wait to see what Cobell says in the birthing room. Yeah, for sure. And, I was thinking about the birthing room situation too. And I think that, because people were wondering that with Devin, going back to Devin, if she knew like the whole time that in the birthing rooms there was this thing that would allow the innies to come out. I think that it's based off I think it's that one cabin and it's dedicated to James. And he's been doing shenanigans in there. Horrible shenanigans, it seems. But there was one thing in the last episode that I was really intrigued about, and there was like a lack of what's the word? Kind of dialogue just between Devin, Cobell, and Mark. Even though they were all chilling for however long, waiting for it to be nighttime, there wasn't really much dialogue between them. My volume's low. Appreciate you, L. What about right now? Let me see. What's my levels at? Check, check. There we go. That should be better. Is that good? I'm using a new program here. Okay, cool. What was I saying? Damn, I can't remember. Oh, lack of dialogue between Cobell, Mark, and Devin. I wanted to know because Mark said that they told Cobell everything, and I don't know if you all have seen my video that I made on episode 9, but he had said they told Cobell everything, and I want to know what that is. I hope that gets brought up in the finale in some degree, and I think it will. Obviously, when Cobell starts talking to Mark in the birthing cabin. Now, do you all think that Cobell has actually switched and is now allies with Mark? I'm still very skeptical of that. Because it felt like even though she snapped and on Sissy, it was like, I made Severance, I made the chip, I made all the protocols. I mean, it didn't feel to me like there was a full circle moment of, okay, I'm done with Lumen. I don't care about Cold Harbor anymore. I'm going to go with Mark to try and save Gemma or ruin Lumen or whatever. I didn't feel like that was in the episode, and I don't even feel like it was implied either. So I'm curious because Cobell seemed to be overly obsessed with finishing Cold Harbor, and she said it was even her idea of starting it. So I think she's going to see it through. I think she's trying to get Mark back in there to try and finish it somehow. And man, I wish I had. Dang, I wish I had that on me so I could show you guys. Um, yeah, I don't know. What are some of y'all? I want to kind of work off some of you guys' theories that you have. What do y'all think that is gonna happen in the finale? What I'm hoping for the most, outside of figuring out what Cold Harbor is, obviously we got to figure out what that is. I want to know. The biggest question I have is who was behind Mark in episode 1. When he first runs to the wellness center and it's blocked off, and then there's like a shadow person behind him. I want to know who that is. Like, really bad. I feel like it could have wild implications depending on who it was. What else do I want to know? I want to know who Irving was talking to in the phone booth. Definitely got to figure that out, because that was in episode 1 of season 2. So I feel like the writer set up the promise and expectation that would get paid off. I mean, that would pay off by the end of the season. Exactly. Elle wants to know who Irving's talking to too. Absolutely. That's one of the biggest questions. And honestly, I don't need to know what they were talking about yet. I just need to know who he was talking to. So that could be kind of a cliffhanger going into season 3. As far as the topic of what they were talking about. Trying to think. Yeah, that was one. Okay, no. So really, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. You're saying it was one of the shadow / watchers for Mark in the Hall. Yeah. So I guess on IMDb, people were saying it's the same actor that was in the Ortbo that was playing the like illusion shadow Mark is the same actor that was behind him in episode 1, which, and it's different than the person below that's watching him. They're 2 different actors. So what is Shadow Mark? Who is Shadow Mark? We need to know this, and I don't want to wait till season 3 or 4 or whatever to figure out who that is. So I definitely want to know that. Now, something I don't see anybody talking about, and I feel like it has to come back, because if it doesn't, it's almost a completely irrelevant point to the season. Like they didn't even have to write it in there. Is Rickon's book? What happened? Like, there's a whole episode titled Trojan's Horse that was based off of the book Rickon was supposed to write for the Ennies, and we haven't heard from it since. And I feel like that is Rickon's whole character in this season. So I feel like that has to come back, right? Like, it has to. It's had no effect yet. So I feel like I need that to come back and have some level of continuation of that plot or something. That got completely dropped, which I was surprised about, because it seemed to be like super important, like so important. Natalie went over to his house to try and do it. So yeah, I don't know why they dropped that completely. Elle says, I think Cobell's loyal to Kier, no longer to Lumen. The last interaction she had with Helena alluded to her life being in danger, so she wants to finish her project but not help Lumen, if that makes sense. Valid. I think the thing is, though, how can one be loyal to Kier but not be loyal to Lumen? Now, obviously that could be a possibility, but I'm saying, what does that look like? What type of boundaries would Cobell have? Because, right, so you think she still seems devout, right? I don't know. Stiller said it was Mannequin Mark in one of the official podcasts. No way to know for sure if he was telling the truth. So it was Mannequin Mark. That's true. That is true. It was Mannequin Mark, same actor. And you say the word mannequin, which is interesting because the connection between episode 9 and the Twilight Zone episode After Hours, where in Twilight Zone, it was about mannequins rotating out every month and becoming human, essentially being in the human world undercover. So it's funny that you say the word mannequin. And it's funny, did Ben Stiller actually use the word mannequin? Did he use that? Because I feel like that's actually like a pretty important detail here. Is Dieter real? Oh, so MJ said Ben Stiller did use the word mannequin. Huh. Wow. Huh. Damn, that got me hyped. That's kind of interesting. He definitely used that word on purpose. Um, Dying to see Irv get off the train. Oh wait, sorry. Tom says I think Cobell can become a complete revolutionary. See, I can agree with you. I thought it was going to be Milchick. I thought Milchick was the one that was going to turn because it seems like he's actually compassionate. I thought he was going to turn and help the innies, but it seems like I don't know because actually even though he did get up in Mark's face a couple episodes ago, this episode he did drop like he dropped it and like let Mark just chill out when he said work-life balance. So maybe he's still on the side of the innies possibly and showing them empathy and all that. Maybe. He did get sick of Drummond. Really says dying to see Irv get off the train, make another phone call, maybe hear who's on the other end. Okay, let's talk about that. So I'm actually going to hang it up here like so people know because yes, I love talking about these shows, but the reason why I like talking about them is I have a creative writing degree. Like this is what I went to college for. I love like this is essentially workshopping like we used to do with all these stories that I did in college and everything. And so I'm kind of utilizing those skills. And the reason I say that is because on a writing level, just like writing 101, there's absolutely no way Irving and Dylan don't come back in the finale. There's no way. I know people love Irving and Bert, and like that's kind of what they're paying attention to. But Irving's character arc and his storyline is not about Bert this season. That's not his character arc. His character arc is the whole undercover trying to figure out what's going on with Lumen, and Bert played into that, right? And so, yeah, Irving has to continue that plot. Him kind of connecting with Bert and then getting sent away does not complete his plot of the season. It does not. So there's no way he can't come back. Dylan G, his arc did come full circle. Like I noticed it. I watched the episode again and I did notice that his full circle moment is in episode 1. Irving comes in, loses Bert, loses his love, and he wants to off himself by going out into the stairwell, just not coming back. Dylan is who stops him from doing it, but then Dylan ends up losing his love, and Dylan G wants to off himself by resigning. So that's kind of the full circle of his character. So that's true. But I feel like if they were really sending him off and having us wonder what was going to happen to him, that would have happened in the finale, not in the penultimate episode. So I do think like Dylan's going to come back to some, like in some capacity. Let's see. Dan Erickson, total genius. Yeah, the writing on this show is so good. And I feel like it's easy for everyone to see how the writing is so good. They're so good at foreshadowing and just making the most minute details hold so much significance, which is so hard. Typically, you have to do that in rewrites and add in little symbols here and there that play into the overall picture. So it takes a lot of dedication to make it all make sense. So shout out to the writers of the show. Absolutely. Who is the board? Okay. I don't know if the board are people. Hear me out. I don't know if we're like in an iRobot situation here where there's like an AI that is controlling stuff or whatever. You know, it'd be crazy. I literally just had this way out there theory, but it would be crazy. What if it's like 6 different versions of Gemma is the board? That would be crazy. Or I think also James is split up into a bunch of consciousnesses like Gemma is. And so I could see it being something like that. Because the oddest thing about the board to me, I have a question for y'all. Please comment on this so I can get your perspectives on this. But the oddest thing to me about the board is that only Natalie can talk to the board. You'd think it'd be like Helena and Egan that could talk to the board, but it's Natalie. But now that we know that James is doing all his shenanigans, Natalie could be James' daughter, unfortunately. But My question for everybody: if the Egans are so revered, why is Helena such a throwaway person? Like, why does no one care about Helena? Like, why does her dad not care about her? Why does she like have to report kind of to Mr. Drummond and Natalie? Like, why is she not royalty? Right? Why is she being a test dummy for the chip? Does any have y'all ever thought about that or seen any theories or other creators talking about that or anything? It seems odd to me that she's so just unimportant. So Helena's Cold Harbor sacrifice. Okay, okay. But I guess my question would be, and I get we'd have to see what exactly Cold Harbor is, but it's still weird to sacrifice the heir, is it not? Unless it makes the heir succeed, like become even more like higher royalty in some kind of way. Like maybe if like Kira's whole consciousness is supposed to like get downloaded in her head or something, that would make some sense. Cause James is a creep. It could be that simple. He could just be a terrible. I mean, he is a terrible guy. We know that for sure. So you could be absolutely right. I guess it's more of just like, to me, there was even was it Drummond? Ah, yeah, it was when Drummond was getting on Milchick during his performance review, and he was telling Milchick how he was like soiling the Egan name and all of that. So yeah, it's just interesting to me that Helena's Egan, but nobody cares. That's really interesting, and she seems to be the only one that. Okay, here's another question I have, and maybe this is just a writing thing because they didn't know where they were going with her character. But if you rewatch season 1, there's 2 moments where we see Helena. One is when she's on the way walking to get the severed procedure, and another is when Helly walks out into the staircase, and then we see Helena talking to Milchick and like, oh, do I not want to stay in there? All that. She actually has like a personality in the first season. She's not cold and, just completely emotionless how she is in season 2. And I didn't know if that was so, like, we already knew they were like 2 different people because we knew how like the severed chip worked and everything. So yeah, it could be a misdirection. It could. But I am curious if there is something more to that, because everything does seem so detailed out in this show. It could be a misdirect, or it could be something more, like maybe something after the whole finale of season 1. Maybe they like did something to her, like as punishment, like in a break room situation or something, and that like changed her personality from season 1 to season 2. Because they could have I don't know. Okay, let's see. Helena's like a tool for Lumen plus for the cult. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. And I know they were using Helena as a tool in the first season on a political level to show that the chip was viable and it was good and all that kind of stuff. And then I know in this season they were making her turn back into Helly because they were saying Mark wouldn't finish Cold Harbor without her. So yeah, they're definitely using her as a tool. Cold Harbor is a play on Cold Harbor. James needs to handle his. Oh, y'all, I gotta tell you the coolest Easter egg I found. This is crazy. So I saw a TikTok saying that the crib behind Mark in the Gemma episode, when he's like drunk and like he's breaking the crib, you can see the box in the background, and like on the box it says like Cole Arbor or something like that. I don't know if it was the brand or something like that, but what I saw that was wild is it says like a 3-in-1 crib that evolves with the baby as it gets older. And do y'all remember in season 1 there was a joke between Rickon, like when he had the 3 beds in the room for his kid and said it's better to have all 3 in the same room but like individual. I mean that yo, like what? Yo, I was gonna make a TikTok about that, but I totally forgot. I gotta do that because I was like, that has to be on purpose because that was such an odd scene to have in the first season, talking about the whole. And then Mark made a comment to Devin and said something along the lines of like being traumatized because his parents didn't keep all his beds in the same room or something like that. So, I was wondering if there was something to that. I was wondering if there was something to that. Um, man, yeah. So Helena. Okay, so we covered Helena, and what we think her role is, kind of going into this finale. Oh, actually, okay. Well, the biggest thing is that we didn't talk about yet with that is the intro where it's flashing between Helly and Gemma. What do y'all think is going to happen there? Do you think that Gemma's getting out and Helly is replacing her? I kind of have that idea because of that After Hours Twilight Zone episode where I said the point of that was like the mannequins in that episode every month would change out and like one would go live with the humans and then it'd have to come back and then another one would go. I think like the analogy in this show could be something where people in the test floor have to like rotate out or something like that. Um or they could both be stuck in the testing floor. Possibly. Or I was wondering if Gemma can only now exist in the testing floor. That would be kind of crazy. Also, yeah, my theory brain's going now. I had a question for y'all about when Helena called Gemma Hannah. Do you think Hannah is Gemma's like actual person and Gemma was always a any and like Hannah is like the actual person? Because another detail I caught is in Rickon's book when he's talking about camping with Mark and all of them. Mark and Gemma wanted to remain anonymous, and so the nickname he uses for Gemma is Nan, which is a nickname for Hannah. So that also plays into my theory that Rickon, he's working for Lumen. I'm telling you, or even if he's not working for Lumen, Rickon knows something. This man's suspect. I've been saying it this whole entire time. This man, there's so many red flags about Rickon. There's so many. And he's not just weird. I'm telling you, there's something to this guy. Him and Devin. Weird. They're both strange. Someone asked if maybe Gemma was always or previously severed, possibly, maybe-ish. Yeah, I think... I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think her fate is... Mark's either going to maybe have to choose between Helly or Gemma going down there or something. Man, it's going to be... I hope it's not something where like that's the cliffhanger and we don't know what happens to Gemma or Helly till season 3. I hope that's not what happens. I would be mad about that. I want to know what happens. Let's see. So we talked about who's behind Mark, Irving in the phone booth. Oh, the only thing that has not come to light yet out of that intro, not the intro of the show, but the claymation thing they did. So that foreshadowed everything. It foreshadowed Helena getting drowned, foreshadowed the water tower we saw last episode. And the only thing it hasn't foreshadowed is there's a part in there where it talks about a horror mirror, a fun mirror playroom for Irving or something like that, and it looks terrifying. That's the only thing that hasn't come to light yet. So I think that will be in the finale. It's the only thing that hasn't come to light yet, and I wonder what that's going to be. Because it looked like he was split into multiple consciousnesses like we saw Gemma is. And I know there's people theorizing that Irving has been on the testing floor before. So maybe it has something to do with that. Um, let's see. Hi everyone. I think the town on PD's map is where Mark lives. Okay. I was thinking that too, but I feel like that's such like a reach of a theory that I haven't really gotten behind it 100%. That the town they're in is also like a Lumen product. And because all right, so first, the state that they live in is not an actual state in the United States. Yet there's congressmen, so they have like state power, and then they use dollars. So it seems like they're in America, but that means, and then I was actually, Irving has a flag in his room, and I wanted to count the stars to see if there's still 50 states or if there's like 51 states. But I was like, it could be an old flag. So even if there's 50 states on it, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. And yeah, so I could totally see the town they're in being a test, because like being a whole experiment. Yeah, kind of like the Truman Show. Especially, it's funny you say the Truman Show, because when I first saw the intro in the video I made about it on here, when he lifts up the elevator like wallpaper, it kind of like turns into a wallpaper in the intro. I was like, damn, that kind of reminds me of the Truman Show. So that's funny that you say that. Miss Cobell pretended to be a neighbor and Devin's pretending to be Mark's sister. Listen to me real quick. Listen to me. There's something odd, and y'all can answer me this question, because I haven't heard a good explanation that I like so far. There's a rule that you can't see people that are like, you know how they like stagger people out when they leave, because you're not supposed to see other people that you work with in real life or whatever. How did they let Cobell live right next to Mark? Anybody have a good explanation for that? That was confusing. And then even like how Milchick was checking up on everybody, that was interesting. So is it like only the innies can't see each other, like people that also have chips or something? I don't know. Like, I feel like they're breaking the rules, which is kind of weird. I don't know if y'all have any explanations for that, because I haven't heard any that I like. It seems hypocritical and contradictory. I want to know what each of the overrides means. So one of the overrides is the beehive thing. And did y'all ever see that poster? I wonder if I can actually, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. It's like Be Merry or something like that. Severance. Let me see something here. Hold on. Firefox. Okay. Do y'all see this poster? Be Ever Merry. Okay. You see how it's Kier's face on the bee, and there's pollen everywhere. First of all, I feel like this has nasty sexual undertones after the last episode. I really do. And I feel like, so the ruler of the beehive, right, is always a queen, correct? And so what's interesting to me with that is James took credit for Cobell's work. And it's interesting because like then they put Milchick's face over Kier and all that. So it's like Kier is going to be doing something. I feel like he's going to be like doing something, taking over the queen bee, whether that be Helena or maybe it's Cobell. But I think he's going to like take them over, or maybe already has. But exactly, Jane pollinating everything. Nasty, nasty man. Because especially like that real story. Like, I don't know if y'all saw that on Netflix, that documentary where like the IVF clinic guy was giving like his own stuff to everybody. And like he has like hundreds of kids in his town or whatever. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's like, I feel like the inspiration for this show right now is crazy. I feel like episode 9, if it turns out to be what we all think, I feel like it took a dark turn, like an extremely dark turn of a show, of like, man, um, really, Riley says supposedly Lumen didn't do anything about the Miss Selvig character till after the. That's actually a good point too. I wonder if they knew. Oh, the security guard didn't. He didn't actually know that Cobell had like an altered personality because he was wondering what she was like wearing and stuff. That's interesting. Um, yeah, one of the overrides is elephant, and like to me, that's like elephants remember everything. So that must be something where they restore Annie's memories of something. Oh, and then my wife. I was talking to my wife, and we were talking about it, and we had this idea, and I don't think this is far fetched at all, because Cobell is the creator. Do y'all think she put like a back door in the chip, whereas like it's like a protocol only she knows? I feel like that'd be pretty cool. And I feel like it would play into her being like the creator and all that and kind of being a tactician and being 15 steps ahead of everybody. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. If it's not in there, they should write that in there because I feel like that'd be a cool idea. Hi, new to the chat. Hi, Denise. Mark said his home's Lumen subsidized. Also at a place when Mark was on a date, he asked his date if they should call their cars. Irving severed himself due to military PTSD. Lumen will get taken down for shifting the employees. Yeah, so like it seems like Mark, Irving, Dylan, they all live in Lumen homes. Rickon doesn't. But Rickon's a weird guy. Now that we know the thing about the cabin too, and it was Rickon's idea to go to the cabin play, Rickon is a weird guy. Also, there's a scene, it's like in it's second episode when we see the Audis for the first time in this season, where everybody's leaving, and is it Beck, something like that. She's leaving, and then she says, "Don't punish the baby. This wasn't its fault." Why does one of his best friends think he's gonna punish this baby? Like, this man is weird. This man is odd. And then when Natalie comes to the house, when he is talking to Devin, he's like looking at Natalie, trying to like essentially ask her if what he's saying is correct, like if he can say certain things, like they already have some type of deal where he can only say so much, or she has some type of power over him. Like, that's odd, strange guy, I'm telling you. What about the numbers on Irving's door? They change and disappear. Wait, what? Expound. What do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't catch that. If they actually didn't know about Miss Selvig, then another commentator's idea makes sense. Cobell actually cared about Mark and her invention, so wanted to keep a close eye for personal reasons. I mean, when you go back and watch season 1, it's clear that Cobell does care about Audi Mark, like 100%, like actually cares about him. Now, it could be the chip, like you're saying, like it could be her just observing the chip, but there was like genuine care in there, which was odd because of how she treats any Mark. So yeah, there's something with that as well. Miss Selvig is a Norwegian name. She also went to okay, that's interesting. The fact that Rebecca said it's fault, no one referred to a baby like that in that context. Exactly. I'm glad y'all found that weird too. I really am. I'm really glad that y'all agree with that. I'm betting Mark is Cobell's kid. I definitely think, and I've been saying Cobell is someone's mom. She is someone's mom. I don't know if it's Mark and Devin or Helena, but I definitely feel like she's somebody's mom. I really do. And now that we know that James is messing with any versions of women, which, like, yo, this show went dark. Like, what the hell? This show went dark. My God. But now that we know that, it's like, who knows who is a Egan at this point? There could be like, the whole town could be Egans. Like, real talk, like damn near everyone in there could be an Egan. It's crazy. At this point, is the baby real? The funny thing about that also is in that episode, um, Devin said that Cobell found the baby in the study. And then Rickon makes it a point to say that Cobell saved the baby twice. He said it twice. And one of the lines of the dialogue was like, Devin said something about finding the baby. And he was like, I would still say saved. And so I'm like, I don't know. I'd like to know which Kier school Milchick attended. Facts. Yeah, I think Milchick was definitely one of the child labor people for sure that did the whole fellowship and all that stuff. Which means it took him a while to advance too, because he was working under Cobell for who knows how long. That's another thing. I wonder how long Cobell had been working at Lumen, and also I couldn't figure out the timeline here, because when Bert said that the severed chip, like he slipped up and said people were severed 20 years prior, it made me wonder, because Gemma's only been there for 2 years, as far as we know. So what were they doing prior to Gemma showing up? Like, how are they, like, if they're using Gemma to test the chip, then if the chip's been around for 20 years, who or what was testing the chip before Gemma got there? And then also in all the other offices, is there like someone getting tested on in all the other offices? That would be tragic. Yeah, I don't know how that works. And then like the watchers underneath MDR, do you think they like rotate people? Like what, like when what's her name? The person that came before Mark when PD was talking about her, Miss Carol, something like that. Like, does the person that looked like Mark that's watching him only start working there when Mark got there? Man, there's so many things in this show. I love it though. I love theorizing. I love it. I like, man, one of my favorite things to do. L, honestly, I've been trying to avoid it, but since we're all family, the way James addressed Helly was sus to me. I don't know. Yeah, that seemed like some weird Game of Thrones type stuff. If we're being honest, like he seemed to be a little too infatuated. Yeah, yeah. Nasty stuff. Wait, what was really talking about? Not Cobell, the other guy at the reading, the black guy, Rickon's friend. What's that guy's name? I can't remember his name. Denise said testing the homeless people, aka the goat people. Yeah, I feel like the goat people might not leave. I feel like they may be there like forever. I do. Maybe Irving graduated from goat class. Just kidding. That's funny. I think the watchers are being refined. The watch look more like innies as progression is made. That's interesting because of the whole theory that gets passed around by MDR to all the other departments about them having pouches and getting eaten and taken over by their larva or something. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. No. Nah, it can't be. Nah. Nah. That would be crazy. Huh. Oh man. Because okay, then when you take the larva thing with the last image of the intro where there's like someone crawling out of Mark, like out the back of his head at the end of the intro, I always thought that was any Mark. But now I don't know. And that is kind of like a larva, like coming. And I didn't even think about it with that imagery. Huh. Huh. yeah, maybe the larva, either it's something with the lookalikes or the shadow people, or and this is also what I was wondering, because we don't know how reintegration works. Like, we don't know if it's just Audi Mark getting the memories of any Mark or vice versa. But I was wondering, okay, like, does any Mark take over like Audi Mark's body? Like, is that the larva? Like, does any Mark run him or something like that? And because we don't know how it works. Oh, also, because I do have to get going in just a little bit. Look, I need someone to explain this to me. I really do. I truly do. I've asked in my videos. I've gotten some comments, but now that we're like having a back and forth, we can have a conversation, because there were some people disagreeing with me, which is fine because we're just theorizing here. But I just don't get it. So, okay. I said that the Gemma episode made no sense because the episode is framed through Mark's chip getting flooded and he's passed out and he's journeying. And all he's doing is remembering things he's supposed to already know about Gemma, unless these memories got severed from him somehow. I said that, and then there were some comments saying that maybe it's any Mark remembering all the Gemma memories. Now I was like, okay, well, that makes sense, right? That would make sense. And so the idea was that he reached full reintegration, or maybe Any Mark did take over, and Any Mark was who was going to wake up like after he woke up at the end of the episode. But we saw that it's still Audi Mark that woke up after the journey of the flooding the chip. So one, I don't this is kind of what I want to talk about. I don't understand the purpose of the Gemma episode if flooding the chip didn't work. Because to our knowledge right now, the chip flooding did nothing. Like, it didn't do anything. That's what we know right now. So that episode kind of was just an episode about Gemma for kind of no reason a little bit. If the chip, then so, do y'all get where I'm going with this? Do y'all get where I'm going with this? Because Mark showing up not reintegrated in episode 9 makes the whole Ragabi part of the show kind of meaningless right now. And I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, it doesn't make any sense, because the whole idea of like flooding the chip was to speed up the reintegration and like make it happen. And then, okay, so journeying is the process of reintegrating. His memories are coming to the fore. Maybe Any plus Audi memories are meeting. But that's the thing. We have not seen Audi Mark have any Mark memories. Okay. And now that we're conversing, I'll be able to also do a better job explaining why I feel like the reintegrating process is not what we think it is. So we've seen reintegration work in a few different ways. One is Audi Mark remembering specifically in first person things that Any Mark did. Hold on, wait, real quick. MJ says, see, for example, I think flooding the chip let Mark remember all of his Gemma memories, which he drinks to forget. Okay, that's valid. That's valid. That could be like if he actually did forget and it sparked his memory. Okay, that's valid. But so when it comes to reintegrating, yeah, I'm here for the ride too, Will. That too. He wasn't glitching in episode 9, but Devin said, "Am I a copy machine?" So he must have been glitching at some point after the journeying process for Devin to make that comment, for sure. Because she hadn't witnessed him glitching prior to him passing out. So she must, or maybe he told her he's been glitching or something. Okay, but real quick, when it comes to the reintegration, we've seen Audi Mark remember through Any Mark's eyes in first person when him and Helly were in the plastic tent. That was like a first person memory of Annie Mark. Then it seems like there's a hallucination aspect where it's not memories, it's almost like an original experience. So that's when he was walking through the break room hallway and then turned, and that's when he saw Gemma for the first time. That was not in any Mark memory. That was not in any Mark memory. So that was like an original hallucination or something. So that's the second way it works. And then this is where I got a lot of people disagreeing with me, but I wish I had a whiteboard or something because, all right, it seems like there's time travel involved. I'm calling it that. It's not like it's kind of like Loki, but I'm not saying like Mark going back into the past, but more like his present actions affecting what happened before. And what I mean by that is when Ragabi is doing the surgery thing, and then remember it goes back and forth between when Mark is having the nosebleed and then Ragabi doing the surgery, like any Mark having the nosebleed, and he's talking to Miss Wong. Ragabi, and so the Ragabi thing is happening later in the day. Okay, so you got future over here, and then you have the past earlier in the day with Annie Mark. They're doing the same thing simultaneously, but it only happens because, like, in the future, Mark is doing the surgery. Like, if he never was doing the surgery, then Annie Mark earlier in the day would have never been having that experience. So how does that work? How does that work? I just feel like the reintegration process isn't just both of them remembering things. It seems to be past that. Because, okay, you're saying he's glitchy. Correct. But he's glitchy. Like, the same experience is happening at the same time, but one's in the future and one's in the past. That makes no sense. And then Petey was telling Mark in the first season that it's two pasts colliding together and it messes with the relativity of time. So what I'm saying isn't that much of a reach, because he did say it messes with the relativity of time. So I'm over here thinking like, all right, like, how does this time thing work? Like, for example, was Mark actually in the Lumen hallway somehow when he saw Gemma for the first time? Like, did he like teleport there? Okay, you're saying it's happening in his mind, but it wasn't happening in his mind, because this is the same time that this is like right after him and Helly hook up. And like, so that wasn't happening in his head. Like, he was saying things because Miss Wong was replying back to the dialogue. And like, Miss Wong was like, what? Because what he said made no sense, because he was answering Ragabi, not Miss Wong. So she was confused. So it is happening at the same time. I don't know. I don't know. I wanted to put that out there because it makes no sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, see, okay. All right. So when I'm explaining it, y'all are getting what I'm saying. Mark S and Mark talking to each other. Yeah, I think it's because we've never had, and Ragabi's never seen a successful reintegration. She don't even really know what that means yet. And I think we're getting led astray as to what it actually, like what actually is occurring. And also, I don't trust Ragabi. Like, she could be saying this whole reintegration thing to Petey and to Mark. And remember, someone made a great point. I saw, I think someone left either a comment on my video or told me it was a TikTok or something, that Petey blocked Ragabi and like ran away from Ragabi. So like, maybe Petey stopped trusting Ragabi. Why? And then, yeah, you go like, I don't know if I trust her either. I don't know if I trust her either. Yeah. Cause then also when she was doing the surgery, she's like, do you see a black hallway? Which tells me she's trying to get some type of information that she's privy to. And like that's why she's doing these surgeries, because she really wants to know something about the testing floor. Um, and the only way to get that information is by having, you know, the innie and the outie come together or whatever, so like information can come out of the. But I don't know. I hope in the finale we get more of. Here's what I want in the finale. All I want in the finale is to feel satisfied with the answers that are provided, and then, you know, having a healthy, like, amount of questions still being there for motivation to keep watching the show in season 3. It just felt like this season, every time we got one answer, there was like 45 more questions that showed up with said answer. So I want all the answers we need to fulfill the promises of this specific season. And then they can just, you know, cliffhanger us into more that's to come. That's what I would like. Yeah, y'all, this was fun. So my goal here, because I do have to get off, but my goal here is, like, when an episode drops of something that I'm reviewing on here, I think I'm gonna hop on a live with all y'all and talk. I kind of want to do it like the next day, so I'm gonna try to do like Severance lives on, you know, Fridays. I'm also gonna start reviewing Dope Thief. I don't know if y'all have watched that yet. I just finished the 2 episodes that are out, and I'm gonna make content on Dope Thief. And then I'm doing White Lotus now too, and so I want to do White Lotus on that comes out on Sunday, so White Lotus live on Monday, and kind of do that so we can get, you know, because I love talking to y'all and just doing. I love talking TV and theories and writing and all that. I love it so much. So yeah, I really appreciate y'all being in here. This was really fun. This was awesome. I loved it. I hope y'all like it too. Elle said she likes it. All right, that's awesome. And so yeah, I will honestly probably get back on tomorrow to talk about White Lotus. Nothing else compares to Severance though. Hey, when it comes to like theories and that type of fun mystery and all that, Severance is up there. And then yeah, like writing wise too. But there's a lot of great shows to break down for sure. Like, I wish I was making TV type content when Presumed Innocent came out. I don't know if y'all saw that on Apple TV. If you haven't, I highly, 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 highly recommend watching Presumed Innocent. That was like my top 3 show last year. That show was a classic to me. Oh my God. Yeah, it was 10 out of 10. I wish I was making videos about that. But yeah, we're gonna do and actually, real quick, I have a question for y'all, since you're watching my content and stuff, because I didn't know how I wanted to handle it. For Netflix shows that drop all on one day, how would you like to see me make content about that? I don't know what to do, because like right now I'm doing all the shows that are coming out every week, so you know I'm making like a video every week. But for the stuff that drops all at once, like what should I do? I don't even know. I don't know. Yeah, stuff like Black Mirror, stuff like there's this Shonda Rhimes murder mystery whodunit that's dropping at like next week, I think, actually. And the cast is crazy. And I want to do that, but I don't know what like, do I just drop one long video after I watch all the episodes? I feel like, or do I do, like, even though all the episodes drop at once, would y'all still want them like episode 1, episode 2, episode 3? Like, what do you think is like the best structure that you would want to watch? Because that's what's important to me. See, I'm old. I've watched too much TV like that. I love Severance because of the labor tech oligarchy mess. Timely. Oh yeah. No, I love watching timely TV shows. It's the best. Stretch it for multiple vids. Okay. Anybody else got opinions on that? How you'd like me to make content on shows that drop all at once? because yeah, when I haven't done any of those the Netflix shows that drop all at one time yet, but there's some good ones coming out. See, Black Mirror, that's also kind of easy to do each video because all like none of the episodes are connected. So yeah, that'd be an easy one to do a video for each episode. The thing is, like, it feels like in the videos I make now, it's kind of like I wouldn't be able to do predictions or theories on anything because the you know the whole season's out, so there'd be no reason to predict anything. So I guess it'd be more about delving into characters, themes, story, connecting it to broader topics like on a social level, social critiques, yeah, deeper meaning, stuff like that. I think that's how I would have to do it. But okay, yeah, I think I could split up the videos. Yeah, video essays, for sure. Except I don't like doing the like hour long videos, 2 hour long videos. So yeah, I think I'm gonna split it up and release it over. I don't know. I guess it depends on the show, but if it's like 8 episodes, I could probably knock that out in like a couple weeks because that's a lot of content. Um, but yeah, y'all, I appreciate you being in here. I hope I see you next week so we can talk about the finale. I hope we all come in here next week and we're just in love with what happened. That is my hope. I hope we're super hyped next time y'all see me in here for a Severance video. But yeah, y'all, till next week, I'll see you.